All right, guys. Hello and welcome to the show. This is Fight Insight Podcast. Of course, that is not Ringside Rain. This is my good buddy, UFC veteran, all-around good dude, Bryan BAM BAM Barberena. He's joining me as co-host today. What's up, Bam?
What up? Happy to be here.
Good, man. Good to have you. Today, we're going to have a very exciting episode. We've got the owner and founder of Fight League Atlantic. Of course, it's an organization that I greatly support, have a lot of respect for out in East Coast Canada. Bam, you know, I've been out there now for a year. It's coming on my year anniversary out there with that organization. I'm so excited. Let's get started with the show.
Oh, Tim, hit it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fight Insight Podcast.
We're here with our first guest of the show. He's a very good man. We've seen him here on a couple of episodes. We had him first on way back in episode 63. Then we had him back on in episode 133. And now here he is on episode, I don't know what this is, 187 or something like that. So he's been a friend of the show for a long time, Bam. Same as you, my friend. He doesn't have as many appearances as you, so you don't have to worry about having him on today. I know you get upset when people come close to your... Yeah, when people get close to your record. But, this guy is a very good man. He is the owner and founder of Fight League Atlantic out on Canada's East Coast, premier Canadian organization. You guys know that you need to send your support and love to these guys. They have a huge doubleheader weekend coming up on Saturday, September 21st out in Pictou, Nova Scotia. Get your tickets at fightleagueatlantic.com. We tell you every time. And look, I always say, Bam, just go fly out there. It's cheap to get out there, man. Enjoy the weekend. It's a doubleheader weekend. You can get cool ass merch. You know what I mean? Like you were mentioning before we started the podcast, their shirts, everything.
Awesome.
Incredible stuff. Get out there. But Bam, let's bring him in and grill him. I know you want to grill him. Here he is, Derek the Cat Clarke.
Thank you, man. Appreciate the kind words, buddy. Very much. I don't know why I turned my chair to sit like this, but thanks for the kind words. So it's I'm co-owner. We got to get that right. We got to give John some love, man. There's two of us involved in this thing, but awesome. Happy to be here.
Yeah, man. You and the people out there is what's incredible. It's what builds that community, man. Between you and John and everybody on that Fight League Atlantic team, it's crazy. Bam, when you're around at those UFC events, like how many people is it that's setting up the whole arena and the venues? Like, is it 1 million people? Like, what's the...
Yeah, I'd say, I mean, probably a few thousand. There's have quite a bit of people running around trying to get everything set up. Yeah. It's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, not just setting up and everything, but just making sure everything works, everything's going as planned, the time frame, everything. So it's a lot of work behind the scenes.
Well, guess what, Bam? When you go out to East Coast Canada and you go to a Fight League Atlantic event that looks as professional you're going to get, I was so amazed, Derek, the first time I went out there, man. It's like literally a handful of people. You've got a very tight knit group of people, man. And you're putting on an incredible show. This is going to be the 5th show of the year, I think.
Yeah, last year we did 6. This is this year. No, this will be our 4th show, and then we finished in November with our 5th show of the year. And then next year, we haven't announced it yet, but plans are we're hoping to maybe go back to 6 next year. So we definitely stay busy. But like you say, we have a rock star team. Like that's what it takes. We just have good people who care and they just want to be involved and they show up consistently and do the thankless jobs. Like it's behind the scenes, as we all know, isn't always the most glorious stuff, but they do it and they love it. And that's what makes our community awesome. And I think all small communities are like, cities are like that too, but all small communities have that feel to them. Right. And
absolutely. They all come together, help it succeed.
Yeah. If you don't, then you don't have it really. So it's like, that's what we look at it. We're like, we're the only option. And right now doing these kind of big shows. And so we might as well be giving it our best. And if we're going to do it right. So.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Like I was saying to Bam Bam before you got here, Derek, it's like, if you and John aren't out there putting on Fight League Atlantic, all these East Coast athletes, not only East Coast though, because you've got people of this event coming out from Saskatchewan, like across Canada. You've had people come from Mexico. Like all these fighters, it's incredible what you do to support the community, to allow these people a place to fight, allow them to put their skills to the test.
You know what, man? I appreciate that, Tim, but man, that gets said so much, and I think a lot of times the athletes kind of get forgotten about a lot. Like yeah, promoters, man, you're taking the risk, like the money and like, but like when you're a fighter, like the amount of bullshit that some of these guys and girls are going through, like that's why a lot of times I like, I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt, a guy who's been training forever, and I think that's a big aspect of why John and I both, have so much respect for the athletes competing. When you lose a fight or you get injured and there's no payment, like Bam, nobody would know better than himself. So
yeah,
that's, I think it's one thing to work hard behind the scenes, but a lot of these athletes are, when they can go out and do their best and succeed, it's been pretty cool watching some of these athletes succeed for sure.
Well, yeah,
I definitely said, there's definitely a lot behind the scenes that goes on for fighters and stuff, but without the platform, you guys putting on that platform for us to get out there and put on shows and, build to get to, ultimately the UFC, PFL, things like that, it doesn't happen. So, I definitely think the fighters are just as thankful, for you putting on these shows for them and having them, come be able to show out for everybody. So.
Thank you. Yeah, we again, like that's what it's about, really, like to give these athletes a platform to go and to try to flourish in a career that like everybody thinks that they can't flourish in, right? And to go prove everybody wrong and like fight in the biggest stage of the world, which when you have a promotion like what we're doing, and it's within reach for sure, whether it's UFC Fight Pass or not, like when you have athletes that are, within the next year, there quite a few of our athletes, pros, are going to be, 5-6-0, hopefully. So, you never know.
Yeah. That's the thing. I was telling Bam Bam before, Derek, like, there's a few Fight League Atlantic athletes that are really pushing. I mean, we've got Christian Tiger Savoy. If you go on that dude's Instagram, man, he is harassing UFC to get his shot, man. He wants that shot. He's been putting everything out there. Bam Bam, this dude is a scary individual. But as a Canadian as we are, he's the nicest dude when you actually talk with him. But that dude is chomping at the bit, man. And how cool would it be, Derek, when you get your first FLA athlete into UFC?
Well, that's again, like some people are like, oh, can't wait till, but for me it's like, yeah, it'd be neat, like, but again, it's like you look at what Christian, he's like 30 now and he's been grinding forever at this kind of shit. Like, this is shit, period. Like, it's hard shit. It's not fun. I don't care what anyone says, like training camps, people getting injured, like, I shouldn't say it's not fun, but like,
but I get it, I get what you mean. Yeah,
like he's waiting for this call, and like to see him get that call would be amazing for the East Coast for sure. And for him, who's just put in so much work, like, so I would love to see the kid get the call, like, no question. He deserves it, 10-1, 10-1-1. And we'll see Sean Shelby, that these guys, but there's a lot of upcoming talent in Canada, and we'll see if it's not this year, maybe next year.
Yeah. And then another guy, I mean, like, look, I'm going to put the picture on the screen here so you see it, but there is the doubleheader weekend, right? Not even doubleheader weekend, Derek, doubleheader day. 2 massive events going on Saturday, Saturday, September 21st. You got the Tapper Tag 3, and then you've got FLA 16. And Bam, I wanted to show you one of the posters of one of the fights coming up. It's your good buddy, the Mummy. He's back.
He's back.
Yeah, Derek, Bam Bam and I interviewed Mummy before his last fight.
Yeah.
So Bam Bam is a Mummy fan.
With a quick finish of the last one.
Yeah, hard not to be. He's a classy guy, real sweetheart of a guy, a very good athlete, and I think he's going to go very far in the sport for sure.
Yeah, but great dude, man. Like, look, we love having the FLA athletes out here. Derek, I wanted to ask you, and next week on the podcast, I've got terrific Tori Bori.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's coming on. Bam Bam, she's a big time grappling jiu-jitsu competitor out on the East Coast. Every time I see her, it's like a mega fight, like a super fight. But she's going to be part of that Tapper Tag 3 event that's going on. So I'm so excited to have her on the podcast. We're going to talk all about that event, Derek, which I have no clue what it is. He's doing tag team in a cage, BJJ.
Awesome. Nice.
Yeah, so you have to like hold on to the rope, like like the old school wrestling.
Yeah.
So it's like that kind of thing. So you can't tag out unless you're holding the rope. So we'll see what happens. It should be fun anyway. I'm to be honest, like I love like really good jujitsu, but like this, people are gonna maybe shit on me a little bit for this, but like I love to wrestle and I love to watch like wrestling and like really good. Like I'm like a basic Gracie jiu-jitsu guy. So like I like that wrestling and I like that Henzo Gracie jiu-jitsu. And I don't know. I just find a lot of it now has become like a lot of leg locks, a lot of pulling guard, and which is all fun in itself. But I find to like do the events and over again, we're really not like evolving our product. I guess it was like it just kind of became stagnant a little bit. So, and there's a lot of other people doing great events locally that are doing the same thing. So, which is awesome for the athletes. So for us, it's like, let's try something different again. We haven't done this in a while, and we'll see if it works or if people have fun with it. And that's the key, right? So
yeah, that's the thing. Bring some more, some different excitement to it, let people have fun with it, enjoy it, something new.
Yeah.
I think it definitely attracts a different crowd for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Like last time we did it, it was crazy. Like it was wild. Like last time we did it, it was on the mats, not in the cage. So it was, you had like the people on the outside were almost like in basketball where you could box out.
Yeah.
So you could box out your teammate from tagging in. Oh, it was crazy. And people would just hold you in the corner and tag back in, and it got wild. It was fun though.
Yeah. Don't say that. Exciting. Yeah. Don't tell anybody, like, you don't need to tell anybody how to elbow when you're talking to Bam Bam, right? I mean, if anybody knows how to use his elbows, it's Bam Bam. It's like,
yeah. The tag, I'd be doing a lot of tagging out.
Yeah.
Derek, one time I remember I watch all the stuff that you do, dude, the FLA exposure, everything that you put out there, man. I watch it and I support it. I did take notes. I don't know how long ago this was, but I remember you were talking on one of your shows and you said someone was talking about manifesting stuff. And you're like, oh, manifesting, I'm not really into that. And you really dismiss the whole idea of manifesting things. Mm-hmm. I want to ask you, why did you say that?
I don't know. I don't manifest anything, and maybe that's a problem in some ways. I'm more of a like I shouldn't say I don't manifest because I plan a lot, but like these events to be like John and I have a great system on the back end, but like, and he has a system on what he does, and but like for me, like I don't write anything down. Like very few things are like everything's kind of in my head. I have appointments and random things, important things in my phone for the most, but. I don't know. I'm kind of a take it as it goes. I know that the work's been done, much like a fighter. Like I know that, like I'm confident in my skills, and I know that the work's been done. And I can, when you're in this kind of shit for so long, like this is like 50 some events we've done now. So it's like you've seen everything almost, right? So it's like you just get more used to it, I guess. But yeah, I don't really manifest anything. I do. It probably has a purpose with a lot of people. Maybe I shouldn't have dismissed it like that. Sorry, Tim.
But no, because here's the thing. I like understanding how everybody like gets to where they are, man. Like I like how some people rely on different things or have different traditions or different like things that they rely on. And when you made that comment, I was just like, yeah, that's cool, man, because he's just grinding away doing his thing.
Honestly, it's like winging it. Like back in when the pandemic shut us down 2 weeks before an event in Nova Scotia. So that like Brian, like that's like going from one state to the other. So one state shut us down, and in 2 weeks we got our show moved from one state to the other state with all the fighters cleared medically, blah 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 blah, which was a crazy thing. But it's like for me, it's like something goes off, and you're like, this is, and you call the other commission, and then you start calling hotels, and you call venues, and you just start figuring it all out, right? But it's again, no planning.
No, it's good, man.
I kind of agree.
Going to something that's more recent on and I don't know if this is getting deep or something, but on your Instagram, I think it was yesterday on the Fight League Atlantic Instagram, it said, be better than yesterday. And that's all it was. It was just a black screen that said, be better than yesterday. And then I looked down at the bag of cookies that I was eating, and I was like, shit. So you know?
Well, that's okay. You could continue eating the cookies. Just tomorrow, don't eat the cookies.
Yeah. Oh. I like this guy's thought. I like his thought process.
Thank God I did that anyways, Derek. So good. What's your message to people in terms of that?
It's true. It's simple. Like, just keep grinding. Like, again, like nothing like our business, like in the grand scheme of life, is such a small little thing. Like people get caught up in life, I think, sometimes, like, and think that like everything has to be, perfect and right now. But like, it's like, man, the grind, it takes forever. Like, we've been at this for like 11, 12 years to get to this point. And like, in discussions with UFC and all this kind of stuff, like, to get to this point takes forever. So, I was just thinking about it, and I was like, I don't know, be better than yesterday. I just wrote it down, and no manifesting to it. I just wrote it.
Yeah, just do it. No, man, it is important. Like, I always say that I hate that saying, and I know, talking about people getting mad at you, but I hate that saying that like it's okay to not be okay. I hate that, man. I really think the saying should be, it's not okay to not be okay. Like, try to be better, try to improve a little bit, right? Like, in any aspect of life, you shouldn't feel like, oh, I'm condemned to this moment. Like, there's always a way better, right? You can always improve yourself a little bit,
Well, think it like Bryan, like how do you come over a loss on the biggest stage? You know what I mean? Like that, like, as a professional athlete, professional athletes get, especially fighters, man, like they get such not a bad rap, but like not as much respect goes into this sport, like from the outside and inside a lot.
Yeah.
So, man, it's wild.
Yeah, they can get dragged through the mud pretty bad, especially with social media these days. People getting on there and just drag fighters through the mud for over a loss or a bad performance. I mean, even getting a win, and they didn't want him to win, or thought his performance was sorry. It's tough out there for sure. People with all eyes on you, it's tough to, you just got to focus on yourself. Can't think of everybody out there. Like you said, better every day. That's it.
That's such good advice, man. Because like I struggle with that a lot. Like, like listening to people, like, people on social media, or people like it's took me a long time to like get to the point where I'm like, I actually don't give two shits what you say anymore, like, at all.
Yeah.
But before I'd be worried, and now it's just like, man, whatever. So you focus on yourself is for sure an important thing, and a skill that's not easily learned, for sure.
Yeah. You have to be tough, man. Like, you got to be tough to be able to take that kind of criticism and then either ignore it or, learn from it what you will. But yeah, Derek, like that you're kicking ass, man. You're out here. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, to like Bryan, like has anything crazy ever happened to you, like walking back after a win or loss? Like, do you ever, like, are you just so amped up that you have like you don't think about it? Like, are you tuned out already that you can hear fans? Or
so like in the moment, like walking out, I kind of have my moment walking out and everything, but once I get in there, it's kind of like everything kind of goes silent. There's moments here and there where you get like ooh or nah, things like that, or I'm really focused in the moment here in my corners, trying to do the best I can do in that moment. So, and then after the fight, you get some congratulations, you're slapping fans, adrenaline's high off a win, you're walking back. Thankfully, even after losses, I've had a lot of respect shown to me,
awesome.
From the fans, and just keep your head up kind of thing and stuff like that. But in the moment, it's just tough. It's like I'm in kind of my own zone at that time. Especially after a loss, like I appreciate the people and stuff showing me respect and everything. That's really cool. And I think it's just how I fight kind of style. But it's just kind of getting through it. Getting through the moment, kind of getting in my head, I'm already like reviewing the fight, in my head, what I did wrong, what I could have done better, So I'm really hard on myself, and just try to improve for the next one, and take a couple days, take that day, maybe the next day, and then it's like back to work. No more feeling sorry for myself. No more feeling upset. I could have done this. I could have done that. It's over. We got to move forward, and and then we just focus on that and improving. So I try not to think too far ahead. Like you said, I don't manifest either, really. There's times where I think of like, I've tried it. Honestly, I've tried it. I've tried. People were like, "Oh, manifest and whatever," the outcome and all this, and I've tried that, and it doesn't work. At least it didn't work for me. It's just and maybe it works for some people and things like that. But I'm really a guy who's just kind of like, got to get it done, kind of thing. And just go whatever's. If I'm down this, if I messed up on a takedown or whatever, well, then we're right back just working on the takedown and fixing it. Not like, oh, we're gonna get this takedown, it's gonna be in the future. We're gonna get it. It's like, well, I'm gonna work on it now and I'm gonna get it done. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I love that. That's what I love about professional athletes, Tim. Like that. Like that's what I kind of really, really love about the sport is. And sometimes I think it would be really neat to see like a really, really well done documentary on like they've been done before, but like on a culmination, maybe like an entire team and like behind the scenes of like a whole year following the round or something like that. Just like what goes into it. It's just like it's quite crazy. Like when I always say like even getting to a fight, like it's like we have it's always like medicals, travel, weigh-ins. 3 things that have to happen for everybody before they can fight. And then even after the weigh-ins, somebody could still call you at 3 a.m. and be in the hospital or whatever. Right. So it's to make it to a fight. A lot of athletes, I don't think are like get the respect that they deserve or necessarily are proud of themselves because it's quite an accomplishment just to make it to the fight. For sure. So to make it to the highest level, like the UFC is quite impressive. It's crazy, really. So hopefully we can get some athletes there.
Yeah,
that'd be
definitely,
awesome.
Derek. And I know you kind of like like diminished it a little bit, but for me personally, I think it's going to be so cool. Just Canadian MMA as a whole too, but like just to be able to see some FLA athletes, Christian Tiger Savoy, the Mummy, Cam Nelson, whoever's going to be the first, whoever's going to be the second, whoever's going to be the third, to see that development and to see that Fight League Atlantic is like an organization that helps get those stars to where they want to be one day. It's just going to be so cool, dude. And I know you're such a humble guy. It's like you and Bam Bam are like 2 peas in a pod. Like you're too humble. Like you don't brag enough about what you do, but like really like for what you're doing for people and for what you're achieving, right? Like it's so cool. I said, Bam Bam, I told Derek I was at Fan Expo in Toronto last weekend. Like it's the big nerd convention, and so that I'm not like super nerded out, I'm wearing my FLA hoodie, and I'm walking around and I hear someone as I'm at one of the aisles go, "Hey, Timmy B from the Fight Insight podcast. Hey, I'm fighting for FLA one day. I'm going to be a fighter for Fight League Atlantic one day." And I'm like, I'm in Toronto looking at friggin' Pokemon cards and there's some kid talking about like
awesome.
Fight League Atlantic. I just thought it's so cool that like, you know what I mean? That there's people that are out there knowing it, man. So Derek, I'm so happy for you, man. You're the, like you said, you're the co-owner, co-founder of Fight League Atlantic. You're one of the bosses. And so I do want to raise this topic because it's a hot topic always, I guess.
Yep.
When Dana White leaves the UFC.
Hold on, I gotta make sure my phone's not dying. Yeah, keep going. All right. Good me.
When Dana White, see now I
feel you ask, I'll be right back. Keep going.
All right.
Yeah.
When Dana White leaves the UFC.
Yeah.
Who is going to be president? Not maybe the who exactly, but like what kind of person do you think is suitable to replace him? Is it a figurehead? Is it a former athlete? Is it a businessman? Who needs to take that place for the UFC to continue to be successful?
Great question.
My answer is Derek Clarke, but go ahead. You're in.
Derek Clarke is not moving to Las Vegas, and not a fucking chance. Or am I working for anybody else ever?
I feel you.
Dana's always in that position because he's Dana, and he built the business. Like he was able to negotiate a deal, which is awesome. Good for. But like anybody who comes in there after the fact is obviously not going to have that power. It's going to be a little bit different. And I don't know. Like Bam Bam probably can speak for on it more than I can, obviously, but I think the business, like, it's crazy to me how the business, like, I see it on my end, like, even in 6 months, like, the business it's crazy, like, how the business changes. It's wild. Like, it's just like so quick. And I don't know. I don't know who will take it over, but it'll be a very strong business person, I would think. Or it could be Jake Paul. Maybe they'll throw us all off. Jake Paul. I don't know.
But remember though, because it's now a company owned by the WME group and whatever, right? His role as president, I don't know that it's, I don't know how much involved he is. And I think what you're alluding to is the fact that, like, when he negotiates his deal or his position, it might include a bunch of power.
Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But I as in, like, he's the face of that business in a lot of ways, right? So it's like he's I don't know what he would negotiate. I have no idea. But, like, again, like, he started the company with those guys, so he'd be silly not to negotiate something as somebody was coming in and buying him out. But I don't know.
But let me put it out there then. Can Chael Sonnen be the next Dana White? Because that's a name that gets thrown around a lot.
Really? I don't think so.
Yeah, Bam, you know him. I.
But why no?
I just think business side. I mean, I think he's a very smart businessman and things with his own, persona that he puts on and all that. And I think as a personal person, he's different in that sense as well too. But I just think I don't know. I think it's a different fit, a bigger role, and I think maybe even a bigger role than he even wants. And I definitely think Dana White will have a say in it for sure. I think, I'd be surprised if he didn't have some, power to help decide who gets to take over or a little bit of some say. But I think Dana White just is definitely going to have to be, unless if he doesn't, it's going to be whoever, the business that owns it or the W whatever, somebody, and, then maybe Dana stays. He doesn't want it to happen if it's someone he doesn't like. I think it's going to be someone Dana has a relationship with, and respects.
Yeah.
But
how old would Hunter be? I don't know. Like those guys they're all pretty young for the most part. So, like, when people talk about Dana going away, like, why would he go anywhere? He loves this. He built it. Like, he's young. Yeah. He's super healthy. Like, man, like,
a lot of people do talk to Hunter like that too. They already kind of go for him as like, when. I mean, I've never personally gone to him for a matchup or anything like that. But people, when they're talking to the matchmakers and stuff, if they want a fight to happen, they're going to Dana, on the side, or going to Hunter on the side and talking to him about, this is the fight that needs to happen. I need to fight this guy, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So. But they kind of just put some more power over to it.
Yeah, but Derek, you joked about it being Jake Paul, but do you think it could just be a figurehead person, like some sort of spokesman-y guy?
I don't think so. No, no. That's what differentiates the UFC and the PFL too. Like you look at the PFL, like Jake was doing the face-off with France. Like it's just different. Like, it's like obviously I'm Canadian, and you have like the NHL, the AHL. Like it's it's almost like I'm not saying this in any way disrespectful. It's not that way. It's the same level. But it just, for some reason, it doesn't get like the coverage. It just doesn't get the looks.
Right.
And I just don't think that the UFC. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just talking on my ass too. I don't know. Like, he has tons of influencers in the crowd all the time and stuff. So I don't know. But I would think they would always keep it business heavy. I would think, for somebody like that position. But I don't know. Again.
Would the problem be no? And I know that I know we're just talking this out, like, but I just thought, like, if anybody was the right guy to talk to about this is you, Derek. But, like, if it's, I mean, here's the thing: you're a very personable guy. Like, you're able to hold yourself in a conversation, in a media presentation.
Talk way too much.
But too much is too much. Even if it is too much is better than too little. Is the person that replaces Dana, you could be a really business guy, but you need to be able to speak to the public. You need to have some sort of charisma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think
Now
they
you go
need to be able
silent
to
on me
not
when I'm
care.
praising your.
What did you say, Brian?
I said that like Dana, people, I think it's more so because he started from the beginning or whatever. He can give two shits about what the media says about it, and what this the NFL's doing or whatever. Like, he wants to kind of be recognized as like the NFL, but in the end, he's like, fuck it, we're the UFC and that's it, period. Like, there's not, we're different than everybody,
Yeah.
almost like we're on our own pedestal kind of thing, and it's true. Like you said, like, no disrespect to PFL or Bellator or anything like that. I mean, they're definitely high level guys. And I think a lot of those guys can compete in the UFC easy.
Yeah.
It's just, I think they're taking a different approach. I don't think they're playing the same approach. And I think that even goes for like their social media wise too, like things they're doing with influencers and things like that. I think they're trying to fill a different route.
Yeah. Like the grassroots MMA market is guys like BAM and guys like us who are like just regular hardy men who want to watch fights. Like, that's period. Like, it's you look at our social media, look at anybody's, it's the way it is. Like, the majority of your fans are that between the demographic 18 and 55. Like, and they don't give a shit about the smart cage and like how many like it's really cool and it's neat in some ways, but the average person, and they just want to see two people fight and like consistency. They want to see consistency. And like UFC doesn't cancel events. They're consistent. Their products, like, that's a huge thing. Consistency.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what you're putting out there, Derek, man. Like you said, like 6 events last year, 5 events this year. And that's not that's of course not including the BJJ events that you put on, the Kumite, the Tapper Tag. Like, you're putting on more than just those MMA events, but you're constantly putting it out there. You're kicking butt in East Coast Canada, man. I'm so excited. Again, Saturday, September 21st, guys. Make sure you get your tickets or go to fightleagueatlantic.com to get it. Derek, I know I'm keeping you a touch long. Last question.
Good.
Last question I want to ask you before I let you go, man. It's a question that we ask everybody. I can't remember if I've asked you this before, Bam. I don't know if I've asked you this before. I've been doing it maybe now for a year. But Derek, on a scale of 1 to 10, man, it's a question my mom used to ask me every day of my life growing up. On a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you?
Today, I don't know, man. Probably like a 5 or 5.5. Obviously, I told you off air, kind of been dealing with some personal stuff going on a little bit with some family, so that's been rough. But you gotta just keep pushing on, man, and enjoy every day. And so 5.5. But tomorrow, guess what? I'm gonna be better than yesterday.
Yeah.
Dude, I love it, Derek. Man, I appreciate it, and I'm sorry, I didn't want to bring up anything, but like, you know what? Life is tough, man. Life is crazy.
We're all on this ride too, Tim. Like, at the end of the day, we're all on this goddamn floating thing in the middle of wherever we're at. Like, just like, man, with no one ever, like, none of this shit matters. At the end of the day, like, we're all just like lucky to be able to do anything. And I know I sound crazy and whatever, but it's true, man. Like, we're all so blessed to be able to do what we're able to do. So, you're a big part of this, Tim. You say a lot of kind things to a lot of people, but it's, you're a big part of our promotion. You've been very kind to us and our fans, and you're just a go-getter and like a guy who goes above and beyond, man. So we got a ton of love for you out here, and you're like family to us, buddy. So thank you.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, dude. Bam, I met Derek. I don't even know how. Randomly, somehow I find out about Fight League Atlantic, obviously through socials or whatever. Someone puts me onto it. Then I have Derek on, like I said, like, what was it, like 2 years ago? And then since then, it's been such a cool relationship, man. I really appreciate it, Derek. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Before I let you go, anything final that you want to say?
Bam Bam should come out and be part of an event sometime and teach a seminar. We could fly you out and do that. That would be cool. Do like a little meet and greet or something. That would be pretty awesome. And no, other than that, stay blessed. Have a great day, and thank you for the platform. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Can't wait.
I know. I can't wait, buddy.
It was super nice talking with you. Yeah. It was super nice talking with you, Derek. I appreciate it. And I was actually going to say too, I definitely would love to come out sometime, see a show, hang out.
100%, man. We got are you a big hunting and fishing guy?
I like to fish. I've never hunted, but it's definitely something I'm looking to get into. We're gonna try to hunt this season.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm not that I never held a gun in my life, but there's a ton of that kind of stuff. A lot of people come up here, but there's beautiful fishing up here. So yeah, man, there's lots of obviously come up here in the summer or the fall is the better times. But we'll figure it out with Tim, and definitely we can work something like that out easy.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to it, man.
I mean, it's just going to be an elbowing seminar from Bam Bam. Throw those elbows from every angle, dude. It's going to be incredible.
Right.
Yeah.
Important.
Everybody buy your mouth guards now. All right,
damaging.
Derek, have a good one, my friend. I'll see you soon.
Yeah. Have a good day, guys. Thanks again.
Bye-bye. All right, Bam. That's my good friend, man. Derek Clarke. What a good dude.
He does. He seems like a really, down-to-earth guy, good vibe. Nice guy for sure.
Yeah. Great dude, man. Again, I can't promote it enough. FightLeagueAtlantic.com. Go check it out. Buy the pay-per-view. Help support young athletes, man. Bam, like it's a different world now than when you were coming up. There's opportunities and people need the viewership, man. People need the support and the love. Like when you were coming up, not that you're an old man, but like you're from the not old school, but you're like from the middle school era, right? You're not new school, not old school. But like when you were coming up, man, like how hard was it for you to get attention and fights and stuff like that?
Yeah, there definitely wasn't as the opportunity that there is now, especially the opportunity to get to a high level, promotion like the UFC, PFL. They all have like a contender series, a fight series, or some thing like that. So there definitely wasn't that. There's the Ultimate Fighter, but it was far and in between. And it's just local shows, man. Local shows that you can get on and really get out there and get fights. That's the biggest thing is, a lot of people struggle getting fights. And if there isn't a local show there to do that, even if there is sometimes those local shows don't, help you get fights and stuff like that. So it's definitely, if you have a local show, like he was super humble about it. But it's huge what he's doing, having, putting on this organization, especially like, so well of an show and everything that, it's really helpful for the fighters coming up, man, that they have an outlet to go out there and show their skills, show everything they've been training for, and getting eyes on them and notching their, getting notches in their belt to get the opportunity to, go to these, bigger shows and get on these, contender series and things like that.
Yeah.
When I was definitely, just trying to get as many fights when I was coming up, and luckily I got lucky too, where there was like a show like that where, they had shows often and it was pretty local and I can go and fight on those. And they were, really good to me about getting me on the fights and stuff like that. So I personally know, as the fighter with fighting for an organization like that, like for his organization, like it means a lot to us to be able to have fights to go fight to.
Yeah, of course, man. Like, the thing is too, he's far too humble, right? First of all,
that's good though too.
Yeah. Of course. But I'm not going to let him be humble. Like I'm not going to hide my appreciation for him and for the organization. Yeah. The other thing too, Bam, he's not putting fights on in like a gymnasium. Like these are in like big arenas, the big lights, the big sound production, the big show, with the walkout and everything, right? Like, so the fighters, not just are you getting the opportunity to compete, but you're getting the opportunity to be in the environment that will help set you up for success, right? So that, those octagon jitters might be that little bit less by performing on a higher stage than you are. You know what I mean? By performing on a higher stage than your opponent might have been in their amateur career. You're getting these nicer events. So it's really cool, man. Like, I mean, and I know it's going on all around the world, of course. Fight League Atlantic's not the only one, but look, it's the one that I care about the most. So that's what I'm going to say. But no, I mean, doing a kick-ass job, man. I was surprised that both of you guys didn't say it should be Chael or Daniel Cormier or something. Like, I don't know, man. I think the stupid MMA Instagram world, I think they want it to be someone who's going to be a character more so than a business guy. And I think that the WME, as much as we joke about the Jake Paul stuff with PFL, like, there's business people's making that decision. That, right? Like, there are high paid rich people making the decision to go, hey, at that next Ngannou face off, let's have Jake Paul be the guy in the middle. Like, let's have Jake Paul be the guy running the press conference. Someone's making that decision. And so when it comes up to the UFC, I don't know that someone's not going to go like, hey, let's get Daniel Cormier because he itches people the wrong way and he's funny and he's blah, blah, blah. Like, I do think if I had to bet, I would think that it's going to be some sort of like figurehead, some sort of eye candy for people.
Maybe. No. I get where you're coming from. No, I get it, and I understand it, and I can see it. But also at the same time, like, I mean, I could see like the owners of the corporation or whatever that owns it now, wanting something like that, especially maybe now because they're seeing like, PFL is kind of doing that because they're going to be like, oh, we would kind of want someone more, an actual MMA fighter and with a personality and stuff like that, But at the same time, like for me, I see them going more of a business route, like, keeping like, I mean, Dana White, he's just like, well, obviously he's like a diehard fan, for sure, and he believes in the promotion and things like that, but he's also a very, very, very good businessman. Yeah. And he can give two shits about what everybody else says, where I think a lot of these, other guys get wound up in what people say and get feelings and emotional and, things like that. And then kind of go on their own little rant stuff. So I don't know. I guess it's hard to tell, but I think it'll be someone who maybe is close to sports, someone who maybe works in the company. I mean, who knows? It could maybe even be one of the matchmakers, that moves up.
Yep.
But I like what he said too. What's his name? I just drew a blank. Who'd he say?
Hunter?
Hunter. Yeah. I can see even Hunter doing it. Like I said, like he's, alongside with Dana right there and making decisions and thing like that. So. Yeah.
I don't know. I get it, and I get the idea that it would be someone super professional making the call and being that figurehead, but I also can 1,000,000% see it going the other way and being swayed by public pressure or by the allure of media content and hits and likes and blah blah blah, that you need someone that's going to be there who's going to talk a little bit of trash. Like, that's what Dana does. Talks that little bit of trash. He's not afraid, like you say, and stuff like that. And like, I don't know that you're going to be able to find a businessman that's going to go in there and be able to do that, because even when you think of PFL, right, and you get Don Davis or the Peter Murray guy or whatever it is, not too charismatic on the mic, and like has that little bit of difficulty with the charisma to be able to get people to like them. In ONE FC, you've got Shatri. I guess he's okay. But he's he's good, maybe someone more like Shatri too, right? Because he's a little businessy, but he's also got the personality. I don't know. It's an interesting conversation, and I guess one will follow. I mean, it's not going to happen anytime soon.
I was going to say, is there like word out that like there's a time frame or something?
But what people have to remember, I should have prepared for this a little bit better, but he is an employee at this point. Right. So Dana White is an employee. He's on a contract. And so that contract can be renewed or extended at any time. But ultimately, there is a contract position. Like, he's just not gifted that position for infinity.
He's not a part owner anymore.
Whether he is or not, though, but that position as president is a contracted position. I know that. And I know it's like for whatever terms and stuff like that. So at some point, he could leave based on them just not renewing a contract.
Yeah.
These are things that like a lot of people don't understand. They think like, oh, he's just the owner. He just sits there for as long as he wants until he says goodbye. No, technically, once they sold to WME, someone now has the power to be able to say, no, you're not in that position anymore. I mean, it would take a big ballsy move to get rid of him because like you're really risking that whole product if he leaves of not his own accord, you know?
Yeah.
Then Dana White shows up at the next PFL event. He's the president of the PFL. Yeah, I don't know. But Bam, I do want to say thank you to some of the friends of the podcast. So Rageworks Podcast Network. I want to say go check them out at rageworksnetwork.com. That's where you can find other audio podcasts. In terms of friends of the podcast who are fighting, we've got last week's guest, which is Ashley Whiplash Steiner. She's making her Bellator MMA debut coming up on September 7th. And we've got Jade Masson Wong fighting for the BKFC title. That's very soon. If she wins the title, guarantee 1,000,000% she's coming on the show with that title, because I have stayed in good contact with her ever since she's been on. Bam, she's very cool. Canadian, French Canadian. Doesn't look too bad either. Bam Bam. And you don't get what I'm saying there? Okay. You get what I'm saying? No, okay. And then I don't know if we have other fighters. I think we have some other UFC fighters that have some fights coming up. But like I said, next week on the podcast, we've got Tori. Oh my goodness, her last name is Tori Smith, but she goes by Terrific Tori or Tori Bori on Instagram. That's why I know her. But she's a huge, like I said, she's a huge BJJ athlete out on the East Coast, and she's going to be at Tapper Tag 3. So we're going to have her on. Maybe she'll be able to explain to me the rules of this whole tag team in a cage thing. Bam.
Okay.
And the coolest part is that if you're a part of this tag team tournament, you get to pick your own tag team names.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So like some of the guys are called the Blue Tang Clan. Some of them are the Road War. One of them is the Road Warriors, just going straight for a WWE name. Tori's team is called TNT. So like now they're going to have a tag. Yeah, it's so cool. And it's a tournament. So like it's an eight.
So do you win like the tag team championship at the end or something?
I guess. I don't know what you win, but yeah, like there's like a 8-team bracket for the men and a 4-team bracket for the women. So like they're gonna get to like make multiple walkouts to the cage. They're gonna have like a team song. Like it's gonna be cool as crap, man. Like
that is cool.
Two of the one of the teams they're called Broke Back Takers, and in their photo, they're wearing cowboy hats. Like I'm like, okay, so these guys are gonna have like nice gimmicks as well. Like I'm gonna love it, man. I can't wait. So that's gonna be cool, man. For fans and all the cheering people for Bam Bam Barberena, what do you got going on, dude? You got your rum, of course. You got Ridge Rum.
Yep, Ridge Rum. Just living life, man. Taking some time. Right now, we'll see. As far as fighting goes, we'll see. What comes along, but right now I'm kind of taking some time. I don't think I'm going to fight till, next year. Just enjoying some downtime with my family and, getting time with them, some time with them and doing some farm stuff, enjoying time on the farm and getting things done around here. So, probably won't see me, fighting until next year sometime. And if not, then not. But I guess we'll see. No. Time will tell, Yeah,
and you're out there, you're supporting your buddies, you're supporting your fellow fighters, right? I just saw on your Instagram you were with Tony Loco Soto.
Yeah, I was actually going to mention to you. You should probably if I can mention him about coming on the show. Yeah, he'd be a good one. I love that guy. He's fighting for the BKFC title in October. So yeah,
I love that dude, man. How do you know him?
Actually, he trained at Jimmo when I was training there, and he left, opened up his own spot. Loco Soda Boxing in Hickory, North Carolina. So I actually stopped by there. I was in the area and stopped by there, saw him, saw what he's doing, saw his gym. It's really cool to see. He's loving it. Loving teaching and coaching too. I happened to come in on one of the kids' classes, so it's really cool to see. What the work he's doing with the local youth and everything. It's really respectful, really cool. awesome atmosphere. So good for him. I'm super happy for him. I know he's been, clawing to get to this title for quite some time. So good for him. Happy that the opportunity finally arose, and I'm sure he's more than ready. He's going to be more than ready to take that title and bring it back home to North Carolina.
That's crazy, man. No, yeah, he's been headlining BKFC cards, I feel like, since they started. Like, that guy was always at the top of the food chain, like he was a character, he was a good dude, an amazing fighter, and like he's always been up there. So I'm glad that he finally gets that title shot. Very, very exciting for him.
Yeah. Happy for him.
Nice. All right, my friend. That's it for this episode. It actually went like kind of just like our normal length. I thought these were going to be short episodes, but no, like when we get talking. And I really appreciate Derek coming on, man. I'm glad that you got to meet him. And I will be very excited if you come up and actually teach a seminar or teach some seminars up in
an elbow seminar.
Yeah, just everything about elbows. Hey, man, not only that, but like anytime someone takes you down in the cage, you're always just able to get up. I don't know what's wrong with you that you're able to just always pop back up. So teaching people that skill too, dude, and how to stay calm and how, like, under pressure and stuff like that, and just all the knowledge and wisdom you can impart on people.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be fun. I'd like it. I'd really enjoy it.
Have you ever taught a seminar before?
I have not. No.
Oh, no. Well, there you go. Well,
yeah, opportunities for sure. And it's great. If I can, help the youth too in any way, like, or help any up and coming fighter, and, if anything I teach, is able to help them in, competition or, improve them at all, that's awesome. Like, I'd love to show some stuff, and, if it, everybody has their own style, but if they can take it and make it their own, that'd be cool.
Exactly, man. That's the whole thing, man. It's about teaching people and giving back to the community, sharing the knowledge and whatever. And it's just such a cool opportunity for people to see people and meet people, right, that have been there and done it and stuff like that, right? Like all your legendary epic fights. But just the fact that you've been there, the fact that you've been around and stuff like that, like for people to be able to ask you questions would be a great opportunity as well, let alone to get elbowed in the face by you.
Yeah, I guess for me too, I also felt like, I don't know, I don't have anything to teach, honestly, that's like my honest thought process. And
dude, I'm not saying anything bad about any gym per se. Okay. But like, I've been going to my gym, like, but people go to their gym for like years. Like, I've been with my gym for over a decade. Right. And for the majority of it, like, you're learning from the same people. So at some point, it's not even that you don't have anything per se new to teach. Like, I don't need you to teach me some new flying spinning elbow or something like that. But like, just
done. I got you.
But but just getting the getting the idea of something from you, like a new perspective from you, or just even forget it. The fact that there's a UFC guy in my gym that I've been coming to for 10 years, and now he's teaching me how to do some stuff, or he's helping. I think one of the cool things that I see sometimes seminars do is like where like the star or whatever. So the Bam Bam there, as I'm doing the drill, he's going to walk around and critique a little bit of what I'm doing. He's going to turn my wrist a little bit this way, or tell me to hold my hand up a little bit different. Like, that's just that cool little interaction is what people want. There's only one way to throw a kick or blow, right? Like, there's not, but you know what I mean? Like, there's only so many ways to do the basic moves, but it's about having you there to help them see it. Cool.
Yeah. There's also like little details that someone might say that just might click for you, For sure.
Yeah.
Like, I've had those moments where, like, of course I know how to do this move, and someone's like, oh, well, if you just do this, it's like, holy cow, like, light bulb, like, what the heck? How did that, that just makes it that much easier. Why didn't I even think of that? It's so simple, it's like, but I get it.
So. All right. That's it, dude. That's the podcast, man. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks for helping out. We're recording this one a little bit early because I'm on vacation for a few weeks. So pumping some of these bad boys out, scheduling them out. And I do want to say thank you to millions.co. Bam. You're not on millions.co, are you?
No, actually, I've had them reach out to me.
Look at that. Millions.co. They now have our shirt. And this shirt is from the Millions.co line. I got that. So now you can get our shirt at Millions.co. You can get our podcast on Millions.co. You can see clips of our podcast that they produce and create is incredible on Millions.co. But if you want a shirt, it's as cheap as possible. Like I put the price as low as possible and the quality is good, man. I'm not saying it's definitely better than the ones I've made before. In all honesty, it is good quality, man. And it's the lowest price possible. So go to Millions.co, check out Fight and Sight podcast on Millions.co, and you can find it there. I just got hooked up with them the last month, maybe. So,
okay. Awesome.
Go check it out. That's where you can get all your Christmas gifts for all your family. Just by Fight and Sight.
Get the merch.
All of them.
There you go.
Get it. There you go. Bam.
Now I don't worry about Christmas gifts anymore. I know exactly what I'm getting.
Yeah, just all you need to do is find out the people's sizes, and you're all set. Man.
Yeah, done.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Have a good one, my friend. See you later.
All right, appreciate it. See ya.
Bye.